Assalamu alaikum, dear students. In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful and specially merciful. I hope you are all doing well, dear students, and you are safe and sound with your family members. So first of all, I say most welcoming to you to the third lecture of academic report writing. So in previous lecture, we studied 10 principles of academic report writing. Anyone who wants to write a report should follow the 10 principles of academic report writing. If one of the 10 principles is missing, so it's not a big deal. You can miss one of them, actually, two of them. That's something that you can accept it. But if you do not follow any of the 10 principles of academic report writing, so it means that your report will not be complete, and if it is complete, it will not be considered, a well or we would say that qualified or quality report. So let's get started. So in this class, we'll be looking at common types of academic report writing. There are some common types of academic report writing. We will study some of them, inshallah, in this chapter, and I hope you follow and watch the video till the end. In case the students, I will explain everything in English because our medium of communication is English. So I'll try my best to say everything in English in case you have problem or you couldn't comprehend from the English. So now you guys can put your question into your WhatsApp groups or on your WhatsApp groups. I'll try my best to get the questions answered. You should post the question right there on your WhatsApp group. So I will get back, or I'll try to reach out to your questions and get your questions answered. I know you guys want Dari, but however, Dari is not the medium of communication. So the subject deals with English. So I would say that everything will be explained in English. In case you didn't understand, you have problem with it, so you can put your question there and I will get your question answered. So let's get started, dear students. So the very first one will be a report. Remember, the students, if we study from the English prospect, it's pronounced report, while the verb form can be pronounced report. A report is a verb form when the stress goes to the second syllable. When the stress goes to the second syllable here, then it pronounced report. Report is a verb that functions as a verb, and report is a noun. So we should pronounce this report. Okay, report or report is a verb actually, as a verb, report as a noun, report. So we are studying it as a noun, so we will pronounce it report. Now what is report? Dear students, there are many definitions that people give it to the report. One of the common definition or the simple definition can be a description of something a student has done. What's report? It's a description that a student has done. Suppose that a student has written something, so we simply say it's a description that a student has done it. So this is one of the definition that we give to the report. I hope you understood this, students. So there are many other definitions about the report, but I would say that it's a description. The student, for example, student is asked some question, or he's given a survey. He's given a survey, and he's told that you have to conduct the survey. And once you conduct the survey, after conducting the survey, you have to give us a report. So this way, the student goes and studies the places, observe the places. After the observation, he gets some data, he collects some data. So we call that he is what? He is reporting. Now after he collect the data, he just sends it to us and organize it. So it's a document, it's a document that is in an organized format for specific audience and purpose. Remember that it's only for specific people. It's not for general, it's not for everyone. It's for specific people. A specific audience will read this, right? It's not general, like it's not something that is generally written. It's something which is written to a specific audience, a specific number of people. So the audience here means readers. Readers are specified. For example, I'm your boss. So I just give you that conduct the survey, or I say, as for example, I say that how many people use multimedia in teaching. So you have to give me a report for that. So now you go, and it's a simple one, very simple one. You survey the people, you just go and visit the classes, see the teachers, ask the teachers, and then after that you write the advantages and disadvantages, all the stuff, and once you are done, you give me a report. So the audience is me. I mean, I'm the audience, okay? So that's why I say that the audience are specific. I mean, the audience are specific, and the purpose is also specific. What was the purpose? The purpose was, how many people use multimedia in teaching. So that's it. That's one thing about the definition of report. Now let's move on to the format of the report. One of the most common formats for representing report is, so the students, the common format of report is actually introduction. Like, this is the common format that we follow while we are writing the report. So let's study the first one. Like, the first part in report writing is introduction. Well, what do we do in introduction? Introduction, we just do the scope. What we do, we just first we write the scope. In introduction, we write the scope. Okay, let me just go to Word file so you can write the words. What do we do in introductory part or introduction? So in introduction, we do the following. So what do we do in the introductions? Introduction, first we just write the scope. What we do, scope, it means what has been covered here. What does our report cover? We write the scope introduction. What does our report covers? First we write the scope, and after that we write the purpose. I mean, what's the purpose of our report? Why do we write a report? And who are the audience of the report? Who will be the readers, right? I mean, who should we consider the purpose, and how we will discuss? I mean, not how, but the purpose. What's the purpose? Why do we cover the report? Okay, and that's the second one. The third one we have is the background information. We give background information about the report to people in introduction, that how much background information is there about the report, right? And the next we also write the key points. I mean, the key terms. There might be a conduct. The survey might be conducted, and then that survey there might be some key terms, the key words should be used. We have to explain them in introduction. So if we do not explain them, so we will not be able to hold the attention of the reader and to read our essay till the end. So that's why I say that the scope, what has been covered here, purpose, why do we write, background information, how much background information is available here, and we give that about the topic, and the key terms that we are going to discuss. So this deals with the first part, which is introduction in the report. So after that, we will just move to the methods. So methods are actually, it's also called procedures in some terms, methods or procedures. So methods means here means data collection, right? Method means data collection. How much data have we collected? So, and how we collected the data. So it's like data collection. What methods were used, and what methods were used to collect the data. So here we use the methods we use. It's also called procedure. So what methods were used while we were conducting or while we were writing a report. So it means that have we distributed, suppose we have distributed questionnaires, and through questionnaires we got some questions answered. Suppose we have distributed the questionnaire. Questionnaires. So have we distributed the questionnaires or something? Sorry, there's double N. Okay, have we distributed the questionnaires? Questionnaires. What's wrong with the spelling? I would say questionnaire. Why? Why questionnaire? The spelling is right. I don't know why it just take it. Anyhow, no problem. Let's move on. What questionnaires have we distributed? Is we distribute the questionnaires, or we say that what scientific experiments have we implemented? I mean, were there any scientific experiments here? Scientific experiment. Have we done any scientific experiments while we were writing this report? Or we could also say that or we have observed the people. For example, we went to the ground and we studied the ground physically. We went there and we practically studied the ground. So we say that in methods, or we just in method, in simple words, we say we collect the data, how the data was collected, or have we distributed the questionnaires, or what scientific experiments were conducted or were used. Observation, have we observed the places, did we go there or not? So after we are done with the methods, the third thing we are going to have is results, or we also have to see the findings, like what we found and what's the finding. So here in the results, we tell the reader what we have, or what we have found, or what we have found as a result. So here we tell the reader what we have found as a result. In where? In this, actually, so in results, we just tell the reader what we have found as a result, actually. So it means that what did the respondent say? For example, we use some methods, we use some questionnaires, and what the respondents say about the questionnaires, right? So all this, we just say these things in the questionnaires, okay? Like we say, what did the respondent say about the reports, about the questionnaires or the survey we conducted. And then we also say that well, possible that while we were finding the result, there might be something that went wrong, okay? Or we can say, we talk about what happened while we were conducting this report, or while we were writing the report. What happened? Why did it happen? You just talk about the cause and implications of the things here. So, and after that, we just follow the other one, which is conclusion. Actually, this is the structure. Remember, students, we are dealing the structure of the report. So after results, we just go to the discussions. In discussions, it's like kind of a conclusion. We just say that we tell the reader what we have concluded, or we tell the reader what we have discussed, right? We just talk about the results. Again, I repeat myself, and we talk about the the implications of the report, how it's implemented. We talk about the results, what we have got at the end. Okay, so we just do that, and also we talk about here. It means that in discussion, we just actually discuss the old information, because I told you that we tell the reader what we have learned, we have concluded, or what we have got it as a result. No new information. Remember that in discussion we don't write new information. Old information should be told here. And in simple words, like in discussion, we briefly summarize the report here. Okay. I hope you understood, dear students. That was all about report, and now we'll move on to what? Now we'll move on to essay. Now, one thing is missing here, which is a recommendation. And actually, one thing where we sometimes say here, that's a recommendation. We just say that, if I give you the simple way to learn the method of the this report, there's an acronym. Mostly we use it. It's MRAD. So what? It's like MRAD. It's like MRAD. So here we just say, what do you mean by MRAD? I'll just tell you. MRAD, we say first this I for introduction. This I for introduction, M for method, and R for result, and A for actually end, and D for discussion. So we say MRAD is a synonym that we use it. Sorry, it's acronym that we use it for the report format or for the report structure. Sometimes it becomes actually a most common way to structure report is often referred as MRAD, used for it's sometimes used for the laboratory stuff, and sometimes we also say that default structure for many report types in other genres. Sometimes actually it becomes like MRAD. There is A, which stands for the abstract, right? Many reports begin with an abstract. So the structure may also be referred as an MRAD. So some of the reports have abstract, but it's something that's optional. So I will just place this in where in option. In brackets, so you can see that. It's again, I say abstract, introduction, methods, results, and discussion. So this is the acronym we give it to the report format or the structure. Okay there, so hope you understood. Now let's move on to essay. How do we define essay here, and what is essay? Simple definition that we give to essay is actually, we say that essay is a group of paragraphs which develop one central idea. So that's a definition that a lot of people talk about. That's a common definition of the essay. However, we can define essay that a piece of research, either individual or group work, with a topic chosen by the students, right? It's a piece of research. Report is based on different. How report is different than essay? We'll study that later. But first of all, you should know what is essay. It's a piece of research. Like, it means that we just go and study things, ask the experts, share our personal experience. So it's written based on the research, either individual or group. It can be written by the individual. It means one person, and it can be written by the group of people, like 2, 3, 4 students. There are 4, 5 students. I tell them that you have to discuss this and write the essay about this, or I just choose one student, because it can be individual, it can be group work. Well, the topic chosen by the students, so the topic can be chosen by either you or by the teacher. For example, the teacher gives you a topic to write an essay, or you select a topic for yourself and then you work as a group to develop that topic. Okay, it's commonly used as a written course assignment. It's given as a written course assignment. For example, you are given a topic, an essay that you have to assignment that you have to develop this. So it's a written course assignment. It's like given from a teachers, and mostly it's given in a paper. Okay, so answer questions set by the students or argue for the statement or viewpoint. Remember that in essay we mostly answer the questions, or we argue the question. We have argument about the questions there. We just try to elaborate the questions that we have in the essay. Okay, so we have the statements, or we also share our statements. We ask the students question, there are questions, and then we find the answer. There's argument, and then we make statements about that. We share our viewpoints, our opinion there. As I said before, that essay is something which is written based on the research. Research means there we ask, in essay we ask experts, we go to reliable sources, we study books, we just study the literature available on the topic. So like once we study all of them, then we come to a conclusion, and from there we just share our own point of view. We argue, we answer the questions that we have. So all these are available in essay. Now, how essay is different than report, we'll come to that later. But we should study that essay is relatively short. Like it's relatively short as compared to the report and other documents. So it's short. Usually it lasts from 1,500 or 1,500 to 2,500 or 2,500 words. Like it's still, I wouldn't say that this is I wouldn't say that the minimum words should be 1,500 and the maximum should be 200 or 2,500. These are not something which is fixed, something which is generally accepted. However, it depends upon the complexity of the topic. If the topic is very broad, very complex, it's a larger composition, then it can be more than 2,500 words. But if it is shorter and you can explain it in short words, it can come in 500 words, or even it is rarely possible that there will be 200 words developing writing an essay. For example, the essay's topic are usually like this: describe and evaluate the major theories of globalization. Now, for example, I give you an assignment and I tell you that describe and evaluate major theories of globalization. What are the globalizations and what are the major theories of globalization? I just tell you, and you have to go study that, go to Google, go to books, ask experts, share your personal experience, and answer and then after that, write an essay. So before we just move on to the format of essay, I just tell you that how it's different than report. So remember that report provides specific information to the reader, while essay presents an argument. Mostly it presents an argument essay. So report always information to be found quickly in specific selections. So while essay requires careful reading to follow the argument. So report has report has clearly defined sections. Like we studied the sections of the report before, like structure or format, so each with a different function. For example, we studied introduction, method, results, and discussion. We have that in a report, while an essay uses well-ordered paragraphs, not sections. Well, in an essay, as I said, it's a shorter composition as comparative to report. So we say it uses all well-regarded paragraphs. There are a group of paragraphs that are related to one another. So as I said, that it has introduction, all the stuff. And we also say that use headings and subheadings often numbered. In report we use headings, subheadings, while in essay we do not usually use headings or subheadings or numbering, because it develops one central idea. So these were just common differences of the essays. So I hope you got it, dear students. Let's move on. Shorter essays generally have this pattern. First, it has introduction, second, it has body, and third, we have conclusion. So, introduction, actually, we will study this later, but just want to give you a quick preview. So, introduction, which is introduce a topic. It's the first paragraph. It depends upon the complexity of topic. Still, if the topic is too complex, so the paragraphs can be 2-3. Introduction paragraph can be 2-3. If it is not very much complex, so it can be one paragraph. So it has a central idea or thesis statement. So we will study that. But just we will say that introductory paragraph is made of two parts. First, we have got general statement, and second, we have got central idea. So general statements are a few sentences that attract the attention of the reader, and this statement holds the central idea. Main body is also called developmental paragraphs. They develop the introduction or whatever is mentioned there. They support the thesis statement. Conclusion is last paragraph which ends the essay and reminds the reader about the main idea of the topic. So this is the shorter essay, and longer essays may include introduction. Introduction. In main body we will have a literature review, case study, and discussions. So these are available. In conclusion, we have references and appendices. So actually these are the parts of the longer essays. The shorter essays is this one, which lasts from 200 paragraphs to 500 paragraphs. But this is longer essay, which lasts from 1,000 or 1,500 words up to 2,500 words. So let's study first. We have introduction. So what do we do in introduction? As I said before, that in introduction we actually introduce the topic of the paragraph to the audience. So it's a first impression for the reader. Remember that, as I said, it's made of two parts: general statements and thesis statement. Tell them what your paper is going to be like. Here we talk about what the paper will going to be like, what will be discussed here in an essay, or a broad statement of your topic and your argument. As I said, that a broad statement, a topic, your agreement or your argument. This is we say that these are the general statements that we make in report in the introductory part of the essay, introductory paragraph of the essay. So we first talk about the broad statements. We just make general statements. Then we write your introduction after you know and understand the topic better. Dear students, remember that we mostly we have to write the essay. We should start writing the introductory paragraph of the essay while we have fully understood the topic. Whenever we got the fully grip of the topic and we got the 360 degree of the topic, after that we should start writing the introductory part of the essay. Okay, usually between 10 to 20% the length of your paper. Most often from 10 to 20% the length of our paper is occupied by the introductory paragraph of an essay. So we say that introduction contains three elements. First, it contains the statements, as I said, general statement, and scope, like what is going to be discussed, and structure, how it's going to be discussed. So here, what is going to be discussed? Here we have got the general statement, like what Yeah, here we have say why, right? And here in structure we should say how. So how this has 3 points. Let's study first. Statement a specific claim you make in response to the assignment questions. Like a statement, we just make a specific claim. We just state something. We assert something officially in the response of the assignment that the teacher or other individual has given us. Your essay and everything in it supports this claim. Your essay or other thing will support the claim that we make where in statement, right? So strong answers to the questions with summary of your position, your position or argument. Strong answers. So in a statement, we just expect the strong answers to the claim. So the statement is usually at the end of the introduction, but it can sometimes be placed at the beginning. Like it's a simple one. I don't need to explain this. Don't put it in the middle of the introduction. Like it's mostly placed at the end of the introduction paragraph, or it can be placed sometimes at the beginning. But never put it in the middle. If you have a question that sir we cannot put in the middle, it's possible in rare cases it comes in the middle, but most often it is used at the beginning and at the end. Scope makes a general statement about the issue, topic, or area under, like what will be discussed. As I said, what will be discussed, it just talk about the general issues and topic or area under discussion. Scope structure sets out the main structure of the assignment. It says how it will be written or be brief, but include all your main ideas. Here we should in structure we have to be brief and include all the main ideas, while we just follow the structure. How sets the main structure of the assignment and then briefly include all the main ideas. So, essay, we should say that the body of the essay is where you use your evidence and examples to develop your argument. As I said, that body or developmental paragraph, we also call them supporting paragraphs or details. They support the introduction paragraph, the paragraph or the topic which has been explained or introduced in the introduction paragraph. This is where you show the evidence of your research and thinking along the appropriate citations. Here, we just support and we just prove something or we disprove something which is mentioned there in our research or in thinking along with appropriate citations. We just citation, we just bring something from other things or if we have brought it, so we bring information or things or data from other people, experts or reliable sources. So we have to appropriately cite them, right? So that's why we say it should be there. It's the reporting body. In conclusion, we sum up your arguments, and make reference to the key terms of the assignment. As I said, that conclusion ends the essay and reminds the reader about the main idea of the topic. So remember that restate and confirm your thesis. The thesis statement, which is made in introductive paragraph, should be restated in what? Again, in conclusion. Remember that there might not be new idea. Okay, you might suggest conclusion can suggest recommendations or point out a significance or implications that follow from your conclusion. It just suggests some recommendations or significance of the topic to us, right? So there should be no new information in the conclusion. Remember that in conclusion, we just say the summary of whatever this is discussed above in introductory paragraph or in supporting paragraph. Therefore, the new information should not be placed here. If you have added something not mentioned in the body, check that it's relevant. If so, include it as a paragraph in the body. If, like, while you are writing the conclusion, suddenly something comes to your mind, you have to place that thing. If that thing is completely new and not relevant to the information which is mentioned in above paragraphs, you have to mention that information or put that information in one of the developmentals and body of the essay, but not in conclusion. It's not allowed here. Okay, dear students, that's enough for today. I hope you understood. If you have any questions and suggestions regarding today's lesson, you are most welcome to put your questions in your WhatsApp groups. I'll try my best to get your questions answered. Stay safe, the students. Stay safe and stay happy.